Welcome to another tr6 parts video. Today's video, end flow play for your main shaft in your transmission gearbox. Okay, so what we're doing on this video is we're checking out the end play that you require for your second and third gear on your main shaft. There is another end play or flow play on your lay shaft one, but we'll get that in a different video. This is just this one for now. Now, a few important things. One is your end flow is meant to be 3 to, I think it's 10, 3 to 9 thousandths of an inch play. However, obviously if you've taken your gearbox apart, the same piece you're going to put back on, if your end flow is wrong, you're never going to be grinding it down, you're going to be adding on. But you don't add on, it's not like anything else where you add shims, you have to replace a part. So where do we replace it from? We replace it from the first piece that goes on, if you've taken yours off, which is here. This is your adjustment washer. This is the one that if your, like I said, if your end flow is, let's say, 12 thousandths of an inch, well then you need more room, then you need to get a bigger washer. So I've already measured this, I've taken the pieces off it, and the end flow was atrocious. When I say atrocious, it was pretty much, it was into the hundreds, never mind the thousands. So obviously it was well worn down, and it was time to change. So I believe this is the one I had. Yeah, this is the one that was in it. So then we can see, you can see the thickness. This is the one that's going on it. You can see there's a big difference in size. So to adjust your end plate, you're adjusting your adjustment washer, which is the first one done. Now obviously when I done it, I realized that this washer was too big, so I had to grind it down a bit to get it down. I have a load of washers, but they were all too small. It gave me too big of an end plate. Now, just be mindful when you're taking these things apart that can you mix and match other things in other places? Maybe. So I'll give you an example. Here's the bushing for your third gear, right? This one, as you can see, comes with the spacer or thrust washer attached to it, so it's all as one. But what you're looking for, the most important thing when you're putting it back, if you're, let's say, you're mix and matching two gearboxes for argument's sake, just bear in mind that these are recessed for oil, and the gearing you're using, the hole is in the gearing in certain spots, and hopefully you can see it. Sorry, I have the TV on so I can see if I'm getting it right. But there is actual holes to allow the oil to go in. I don't know if you can see that. Just right where my finger is there. Maybe the light. Oh, you just see the light shining through it. There. So there is holes that allow the oil to go in. They have to line up with these grooves, and I'll show you why. There's another one here. Here's another gearbox I've taken apart, and this one is much bigger. You see, it's more of say bronze than compared to stainless steel maybe. I don't know. Just steel. But the difference is, you look pretty much the same. This one has a bigger flange to say the end, or the bigger washer. However, the big difference is the groove. And you can see the groove on this one, recessed, is actually in a completely different spot. It is a slight bit bigger, so don't think you can just swap out this bushing or this bush and say, okay, well I need a different end flow, and the end flow is too big, I'll just swap it for a slightly bigger bushing. You have to bear that in mind, because if you don't line up with the hole on your actual gear, oil's not going to get in there, it's going to dry out, and then you're going to go bang with your gearbox. So just bear that in mind. This one is off an early box, I think it was, I took it out. But not saying that you can't, they may come with them in the right spot, but just be mindful. If you do swap the bushing, you have the matching gearing to go with it. So if the second gear is the exact same as the second gear on your late box to an early box, then if you change the bushing, you change the gear to go with it. So similar to like the push rods on the engine, they all stick together. So just bear that in mind if you're ever trying to play with the end play and you don't have a washer and you decide to change it, just then you know that one. Anyway, that can go for the other bushing as well. Like I said, it may be in a different spot. It's as long as you end up with the right play. However, like I said, how you're meant to do it is the adjustment washer at the end. Alright, so let's go through all this. So first thing obviously you want to do is actually put the adjustment washer on. That should line up and sit down. I'm going to turn it this way actually. I have two axle stands here and a bit of cloth just to hold it. Next one is our third gear. Sorry, third gear, second gear. This one is, sorry, the second gear. This is the second gear bushing. Don't know if I said third one. If I did, sorry. This is the second gear bushing. The recess for the oil goes to the adjustment washer. So this should end up in the middle. The two bushings are going to go side by side, and this should be in the middle. One. Again, check for the recess. Now, does it make a difference if you're just measuring for the end flow? No, it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a difference which way you put it. However, it's always best to put in the correct order, just in case. Once you get them in, the last thing to go on is your lock-in washer, do you call it? Which, not necessarily a lock-in washer, but that's it. To me, it's just a washer. You call it a shim, either or. That goes on last. Now, finally we have the tab to go back on. Now I have a brand new one, but I'm going to use the old one I had. What I did do is, because I'll show you this, these things are terrible, I hate these. Where's my new one? Hang on, I have to come around. So, the new tab, as you can see, comes, and there's absolutely no, I'm going to focus in on this. Hopefully it focuses, please focus. There you go. As you can see, it's completely flat. There's nothing to grip on it to open it up. This is the old one I took off. However, what I've done is I took an angle grinder, a small grinder on a die grinder. I just edged these little grooves into it, and it allows me to actually get a grip on it to actually open it up. As you can see, it's well used because I've had it on and off a few times. But I'm going to end up doing the same to this, just to allow me to open up, because it if you look at it, they're the same size, but they're just terrible to open. It's a terrible thing to open. Alright. So hopefully that's a little trick to help you on that one. Otherwise you will lose hours trying to do this. Alright, so I'm going to lay it flat, I'm going to put it down. Where's my little tool? It's here. And this little tool I use, I don't know if you've seen these, so this opens up. And because I put the groove in, it allows me to slip it on. Now, don't get me wrong, it's pretty easy to put it on. The hard part is getting it out of the groove. Once you get it out, it's okay. But it's getting it out of the groove to begin with is the hard part. Alright. In. Alright. You'll know when she's in because you should be able to spin it around the spot. So you should be able to spin the actual clip in spot. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it on this. And what we're looking for, the end flow, is basically this movement here. So it's basically these movements on their own thing. Now you can do a whole as one if you want, but you want to look at and say, okay, well I have, let's say, 3 tau on this and 3 tau on that. Great, that's what you really, really want, somewhere between, like I said, it's 3 and 9. Or you can just do the whole lot. You can do the whole movement as one. So I'm going to do the whole movement because it's, whatever it is, if you divide it in half, should be the end plate here. If you want to do it, again, there's a few different ways you can do this actually. One is you can measure the entire movement. You can measure the whole lot what it moves, and like I said, as long as the whole lot moves within a certain distance, you're fine. You can actually do individual ones where you can actually measure them using the feeler gauges. So you put some feeler gauges in and see what it comes up at. Either or is fine. I'm going to use the micrometer. I've got a brand new digital one now, so I'm going to try. But I'm going to check just the whole total. Because anything less than 9 is fine. So, alright. So I have to remember not to put it on the clip. I have to put it on the you can go from the other end from the adjustment washer, but there's nowhere to get it here. I'm going to put it on the lock-on washer here, because that's the part that's actually moving. So I'm going to push it all the way up. I'm going to hold pressure on it all the way up. And I'm going to zero it out. Now, and this is telling me it's not 5,000, 500 thousandths of an inch. It's telling me that's what it's at. So I know, give or take 500 thousandths of an inch. And I'm going to just move it back. And I'm getting 8 thousandths of an inch play for the whole lot. Well, I stopped at 8, so theoretically it's 7. So I want to bring it around and show you. So hopefully you can see. I have to move everything now. Everything's in the way. Alright, so you can see I have it touching off this one here and not the actual sear clip. I don't include that in the end play. Like I said, I'm just going to push from the end one. I'll press 0 again. So it is actually at 0 and I have pressure in it. So I should be able to pull this down. It's going to be 6. 6.5. Now, I'm going to argue with 1/1000th of an inch. If it was up to 9, I'd be looking at it. But look, running at this, it looks like somewhere 6, 7 seems to be the place. So that's giving you about 3.5 thereabouts in between each one. Could I put on the sear clip? I could. See if it changes. Might as well. Because this is just a clip, that's why I don't add it, but we'll just see, just in curiosity to see. I just can't guarantee that this will move down, that's the only reason why, but just to see. Alright, so I seem to be coming around about 8. Oh, it's coming up to 9. To keep good pressure on it, I'm going to 0 it again because it keeps. That's the thing about digital. The analog will be the same as well. Just as long as I bring it back to pretty much 7. Like I said, this is only new, so 1, 7. Ooh, that's the worst thing I'm pushing as well. Either way, like I said, I'm looking at it. Is it absolutely perfect? Give me the same. It's digital. Is it one way of reading it? Yes, I can put the feeler gauges in now and see is it the exact same. So actually, let's go do that just to see. So this is a new digital one I got. So we know. Sorry, I'm standing on the camera. We know it has to be. We know it has to be between 3 and 9. So if I go 10, which is this one, 10,000th of an inch, which is this one, it should not fit by right. No, that's not fitting. That's the first good thing. Then I'm going to come down and see where it stops. And 9, 7. So this is 9. Nope. 7. Nope. Pretty sure she's all the way up here. Where are we? That's 4. Oh, sorry. Where am I now? I have to find my own gauges now. 9. That was there's a 7 there. Let's try 6/1000 of an inch. Yeah, that's going in. Thumb goes in. Let's try the 7 again. Oh yeah, the 7 did go in. Yeah, but the 9 is not. So I'm looking at 7 to 8/1000 of an inch. Now, if I really want, I can find a distance between the two bushings. So that's what it says. Like, it's meant to measure them equally. So I'm looking at about 3,000 inches. 3,000 of an inch. So we'll go 4. I have a 4 here. Fits in there. Now again, if I spread this, I should get the exact. Should be the exact same. Yeah. So that's 7/1000 of an inch. So I'm happy with that. So I've done both the electronic and with the feeler gauges, and I seem to be running at about 7. Again, do I need to make sure it's absolutely perfect? No, as long as I'm below 9, that's okay. So that's basically taking the measurement on that, and I can guarantee if I didn't shave this down, it wouldn't have happened. Well, like I said, this is your adjustment washer. So if you need to adjust the end plate, this one, make sure you get it too big, and you have to just grind it down, or you can get them in different sizes. I said you can get them an array of. Let me show you a few. So here's some washers. As you can see, there is different thicknesses available. Oops, sorry, the camera's here. There is different thicknesses available. Obviously, in this case, this one had worn down so much that it changed everything. So, are these a little worn down? Probably. I'm not gonna say they're not, but right now that's nothing there, and the end plate is exactly where I want it. So that's all good to go. So yeah, that's that for this video. So now what I'll do is I'll continue on, and these will all come back off. I know now I can fit the gear onto that. And once I do, it shall look like this. So this is what you're checking as well. You can put the gearing on it and it will look like this. This is one with the gearing on it. So I could do the same thing with this. I can feel the play on it. And I can check now. Since it's all still together, I haven't actually taken it apart. I can actually do the same thing. Put the gauge to here and put the whole lot on it. Check the end plate. So it doesn't look like it, but it's moving to me. I can feel it move. And I can do the same with this. Once the gear gets on it, I'll triple check it again just to be sure. But once I use the same ones, I shouldn't have a problem. Yeah, and that's it. I want to show you just one last thing. Sorry. As you can see with the clips, you've seen the videos where I take it apart. Sorry, the light is not great. The light is terrible. These are terrible to get out. I said they really are terrible. Unfortunately, it's winter time. It gets dark at 4 o'clock. It's now coming up to 7:30, so it's pretty dark in here in the way of trying to see with the camera. But that's it. So again, any comments, questions, or concerns, give me a shout. We're going to cover the end float for the lay shaft. So, and that was using these washers, the tr6 washers that go in, but that's when it goes in. You basically have to measure when it goes in. It's not the easiest thing to do, but yeah, you're looking for the end float and that. So there is a little trick I have to it, using a magnet, and it allows me to see the play on it. But I'll show you that in another video. Anyway, like I said, any comments, questions? Oh, sorry, one last thing I forgot, because I know I'm going to forget it. Thinking of the lay shaft. I did do a video of putting them together. Honestly, before I forget, I just want to get it out and stay there. I'll say. So the lathe shaft, I'd put new roller bearings in here. The original video I showed, the bearings stayed stuck in there, the casing, I couldn't get it out. If you do get new bearings, make sure you use this washer with it. It's a small spacer washer. It has to be used with the new ones, the new roller bearings that go in here. Sorry, this is in the way, that's why. Whoops. The roller bearings in here, again, the light is terrible. This does have to go in below it to make sure, because if you took your original one out, it will not come with it. And the roller bearings you get, let me show you. These are the ones you get now. It has to go underneath, so it will sit underneath it. Because the original one is obviously longer, and like I said, it's an outer casing. So just wanted to say that again, if you're doing this, just to make sure you pick some of these up as well, because you don't come in the kit. When you get a kit, it gives you the bearings, but it does not give you the spacers, because it doesn't know if you have them or not. Anyway, that's it. Hope this is helpful. Again, any comments, questions, concerns, give me a shout. I'll try to help you as best I can. And alright, see you in the next video where we continue to put the gearbox together. Thanks for watching.